All right, it's Wednesday. Welcome to the Women's Leadership Forum. We're coming to you live, but guess what? We're dragging. It's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We are dragging. We are dragging. I don't know about you, but I've had like some health challenges. Y'all know about the water thing because everybody's been out there trying to challenge me with some water. But I will say that I'm better than I was, but I'm not totally there. And therefore, I am dragging. Um, I like to have myself or consider myself together when I come on the show. I don't feel that way today, but I'm being honest because haven't you all felt some days when you had to do a presentation or something like that, you did not quite have it all together, but you had to put it on. The show must go on, as they say in show business. The show must go on. And you have to get yourself together and actually present. Well, today is one of those days, whether it is you're not feeling great or the allergies are out there like crazy these days. I'm telling you, I need encouragement here today. So if you have a good word for me, put it in the comments so that I can take it away and have, some more energy to do what it is that I do. Okay? So, where are we? We're at the Women's Leadership Forum Live. Today is Wednesday. It continues to be what day? Hump day. Hump day. And we are talking about workforce development. But it's not only Wednesday. This entire month is Mental Health Awareness Month. So if you didn't know it, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. Now, on Monday, we talked about the May bees. Get it? May, because it's May, bees, and saying, maybe we should, maybe we shouldn't. Should we do that when it comes to exercise? When it comes to mental health and its awareness, there are no maybes. It exists. It exists. And in the African American community, we don't want to talk about it. We don't want to talk about it. Now, today I had a confession. I did not quite feel like it today. And it was, okay, I did not feel like it because I was not mentally there. I wasn't mentally there. But I have to focus. I have to get with it. I have to be there for y'all because you all support me. So it's how to make those adjustments, right? Whether you have a deep mental illness or whether it is somewhat surface like I'm feeling in a fog today. And how do you get there? And so today we're bringing back our first Wednesday of the month guest. That is Erica Roberts of the E-Suite Academy. And she's here to have a discussion, an open discussion with me. Some of it's plotted and planned, some of it is not, and some of it we hope that you will join in to talk about May, the maybes and the maybe nots, right, of mental health awareness. So I welcome Erica once again to the Women's Leadership Forum Live.
Thank you. And thank you for pushing forward and coming on to give the ladies what they look forward to, Colette. Although I think your example is something that we need to talk about because as we're looking at mental health, as it applies to work, as it applies to careers, as it applies to business ownership, forcing ourselves to show up and to push past what may be healthy for us is something that contributes to mental health issues, depression, anxiety, those types of things that show up in our careers. And so I actually think that's a very transparent of you to share that you weren't feeling it today. Colette happens to know I wasn't either, but we had scheduled this and had committed to this, and wanted to take this opportunity during Mental Health Awareness Month to broach a topic that, as women, you mentioned African Americans, Latinas, studies show that we have it harder from a ethnic background, but then women are conditioned to carry all of these pressures and just keep on pushing through because folks depend on us, or because we're supposed to, or because
because guess what, the kids still want something to eat, right? And the clothes, they still have to get washed, and then your boss asks for the report for the next day. And then your staff is asking you, whatever shall I do? And so, you wonder where all of those requests go in your head. And if you're at home, right, in COVID, you are working from the top of the day beyond sundown. And if you have to go in, you bring that along with you.
Mm-hmm.
You bring, like, how do I take Johnny to baseball practice? And how does Sarah get to ballet? So, it's a lot. And sometimes we don't even recognize it as being a mental illness, right?
And so, specifically, the ones I want to talk about today deal with depression and anxiety. And to the point of not necessarily recognizing it, we don't recognize the symptoms as maybe being linked to those things. But I want to share some of the symptoms that that display. And
let me just say this. Let's not ignore that COVID has been a big contributor to the factors of mental. It's one of the largest factors now of mental illness.
I spoke, you talked about COVID, so let's bring it back to the data. McKinsey, I talked about this before, the McKinsey report that came out, McKinsey and leanin.org released a report last September 2020. And specifically, it said employees, and it's about women in the workplace, employees' biggest challenges during COVID: anxiety over layoffs and furloughs, burnout. Number 3, mental health. 4, childcare, homeschooling responsibilities. 5, physical and mental health of our loved ones, because of course we're caretakers both of the young and the elder. And financial insecurity. And all of those contribute to anxiety, depending on the health conditions, and in some cases the death of loved ones, that could lead to depression. I mean, there are so many things. And ask yourself, if you're listening and you experience any of those thoughts throughout the last year, throughout COVID, did you take time to mourn? Did you take time to grieve? Did you take time to deal with it?
How about did you take time?
Did you take time?
Did you take time? Because I'll even tell you, even in the course of what I was battling, right, that I considered myself strong enough to go out to the market the next day. Wrong. Is there a wrong button around here? Wrong.
I'm gonna give you the wrong face.
Oh yeah, I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll even do it. We don't take time, and despite what our friends say, we still say we can do it. We could do it all. We're what is her name? Mary Tyler Moore. Who can do it all? We can do it all. No, we can't. We cannot do it all.
I'm gonna go back to Karen White. I'm not just Superwoman. And
I was gonna say,
we're not going there. Yes.
No. Yeah. We're gonna name us. We're not Superwomen. And in fact, there is a lot of kryptonite that's out there that we try to forge our way through it, and it just doesn't work. And as a result, it shows up in other places, right? It shows up in other places. We're trying to shoulder it all. Um, you know, one of the questions that we talked about was like, how does it actually present itself? How does it present itself?
So this probably won't surprise you, Colette, but one of the ways it presents itself is increased conflict with others. And
Mm.
just what you just said, did you take time? So if you've been taking on everybody else's issues and requests and complaints and sadness and misery and anxiety, and it's all just coming in here, at some point it has to come out. And that might come out with irritability, that might come out with uh, just having conflict with your superiors or conflict with your colleagues or conflict with your staff. That comes out a lot when folks are overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Burnout comes out, and again, taking that break. If you don't take a break and give yourself even that mental release, it comes out from being, I'm frantic and I can't really get too much done, and I'm pretty much over this. That's where in that same report they said 1 in 4 women were considering either downshifting their careers to something less stressful or leaving the workforce altogether, and that played out, right? So that burnout factor is something that happens. Emotional outburst. I was talking to a young lady earlier, and she actually said, "Is it okay if I curse?" Because she needed to get it out. I'm okay with that, but really needing to yell or scream, that goes with that conflict. And in some cases, the language that we use is different because that's how we're releasing our anxiety and our angst. Being indecisive, and this is critical with any woman in leadership or business. When you
maybe,
yeah. right.
Yeah.
It increases when you're having depression and anxiety and starting to kind of question yourself and question your value and your worth. And am I even in the right space? And why does any of this matter? The decisions don't come through as they used to. And then one of the other ways that it presents itself, and as a manager and somebody in HR, I'm certain that you have noticed trends in absenteeism around the same time people have increased complaints about their manager, about communication, about conflict with their folks, or about just being anxious or being depressed. So absenteeism is a big indicator. And if you start to realize, I don't think I can make it in today, even when making it in is getting out the bed and going to a different room, then that might be a sign that it's time for you to take a break.
Well, okay. So I don't know if the questions or the work shortens. I'm not sure that it will. Okay. If anything, it will increase. So how do you, I mean, I'm not a believer in work-life balance because I am. I don't think that there's a such thing. It's just I work and I enjoy what I do and I just do it. What I don't do, okay, I don't take a break. I do not take a break, and that's not good. So, what are some of the things? We have Harpreet that's listening. She says, "Make you a priority." Everything else can wait because the to-do list never comes to an end. But how do you chop some of that up? It's just like, okay, I sometimes don't eat till the end of the day. This was like, wait, I got up at 6 and it's now 6.
So that is a choice, and recognizing that is a choice, and that's the choice.
I don't mind you telling me. You tell me and tell the audience too.
Well, that's a choice. I'm telling the audience, if you're making choices for yourself where you just can't get it all done, or the work keeps coming and you're choosing to put in 12-hour days or 14-hour days or 20-hour days, or you're choosing to forego your sleep, or you're choosing to forego food, or you're choosing to forego water, that is a choice. You're choosing to forego it's a choice.
You're trying to tell me off, y'all.
I'm not trying to tell you off. I'm being honest though. And so the first part, when you realize that something is not right, one of the things that's so important is that you actually admit it to yourself. Mm-hmm. Right. And you have to actually say, this is what I'm experiencing. I'm missing meals. I'm having health complications as a potential result of it. I am not spending enough time with my family. My child is acting up because they miss me and they're trying to get attention, and I need to be there for them. And I actually prefer to be there with them because I actually prefer that role. You have to make that choice to prioritize you and prioritize, as Harpreet said, prioritize you and those things that are important to you. Now, one of the things that kind of comes when you said you don't believe in work-life balance, I don't believe that. I believe that
okay. What do they say in social media? Fight me. Okay, no, go ahead.
Right. But I believe you enjoy work. So for you, the balance isn't, so your work-life balance, sometimes you're doing certain tasks, you're balancing tasks that you enjoy more with tasks that you enjoy less, but you enjoy working. So that's still a balance, right? It's still a balance.
I guess when I don't consider, there's certain parts of, I'm being honest, there's certain parts of my work I just don't consider work. So sometimes like solving issues, okay, that's what Jessica Fletcher had on. And I like solving the issues. So it doesn't feel like work to me. It feels more like a crossword puzzle, if you will.
And that's what you do for your release. So that actually is balance, Colette.
Okay, well, I don't, because maybe I'm old school where balance seemed more like, okay, I went to work, then I closed shop at work, and then I went home and I ate, but I didn't say a word about work because that was crossing the line. I'm saying for me, the lines are all blurred, and what helps is having a spouse that understands, and I understand my spouse, that those lines can be blurred. Now, sometimes it's like all colored in, and my spouse goes, you're talking about that too much. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay, I get that. But it is because, yes, I enjoy what it is that I do. Now, let me be clear, it's not everything that I do. Some of it, it is not everything. But the majority of what I do, I truly enjoy doing it. And that's, if I want to round that back up to the Women's Leadership Forum, that's why this was formed. It's done afterward. It's done, well, after and during work, but it's an extension. It is an extension. And because there's benefit for me in the sense of seeing others succeed, which is what I do as an HR director, wanting to see others succeed. I feel like I'm sitting on the couch right now, but I'm hoping that everybody listening, and somebody identifies with me in some way when you don't mind spending that extra time. That's all.
So I wanted to point that out because, and when we talked about this in the summit last week, there is that first step is self-awareness. And so you have to actually know what you enjoy. What you enjoy doing. It might be gardening. It might be cooking. It might be sewing. It might be, for me, people laugh. I like to come home and unwind and watch the fan just go by and not do anything else or answer or have any noise. Because I'm a little strange like that sometimes, but I know that about myself. So for me, that creates balance. For you, it might create balance to leave your regular work day with the types of things that may not be pleasing for a whole 8 hours, and then be able to come on live and do some yoga and that might be a release for you. But I do want you to recognize that's balance. And I want for everyone else that's listening to kind of be in tune enough with yourself. And if you don't know what you enjoy, I ask a lot of people, what do you enjoy doing? What brings you joy? And oftentimes the question is, well, what brings you joy? And it's not about how Colette defines enjoyment or release, or how Erica defines it. It's really about you. And you got to figure that out for yourself. One of the things that, and somebody mentioned that they believe in taking breaks. Absolutely. And I am not a psychologist. I'm not a psychiatrist, but I am a certified coach, career and executive coach. And my certification is based in positive psychology. One of the things that my coach, Valerie Burton, likes to share is something called the Happy Half Dozen. And that's looking at 6 things that you want to do throughout the day, whether it is drinking a certain amount of water or taking taking a dance break. I used to do that. I like dancing. I might go and do 15 minutes of nothing but dancing by myself, and that's a release. Or take a walk outside and get so much sunshine a day, or play with your dog so long a day, or cook something, or eat naturally, or plant something. Whatever it is that actually brings you joy, choose 6 of them and make certain that you commit to that every single day. It might be journaling. It might be having a gratitude record. And that brings us joy too. So I would encourage you to figure out, if you haven't done that yet, 6 things, just 6 things that bring you joy, and finding some time throughout the day to do those. And it can be throughout the workday or throughout your 24 hours.
So there was a directive there. I was trying to type fast enough, but my fingers aren't moving. 6 things that bring you, list 6 things. How about this? List 6 things that bring you joy. Now, here's the thing. We come back every Wednesday, the first Wednesday of the month.
Mm-hmm.
What I would like audience members is, this you have to give some thought to. You will have to give some thought to. But when we come back, can you let us know what those 6 things are? Just drop us a line in our next meetup and let us know what they are, because some of the things that you list, somebody's list is only making it to 4.
Mm-hmm.
But then they're like, oh yeah, I did used to knit and I used to like that. And I used to make, little sweaters, and they don't remember that they did it. And so, what we try to do with the Women's Leadership Forum is to give great reference, great tips, be a resource for people. And where do we get those resources from? We actually get them from you. We get them from you. You all are what rounds out the list to making Women's Leadership Forum very fruitful and very resourceful. So,
Colette, can I add something there? Because, and this actually happened during COVID. I was speaking with somebody who had relocated. They were not around family. They were on the West Coast, and they were miserable. And I'm just like, what are things you enjoy doing? And they're like, traveling. I can't do that. Like everything, going outside and there's smoke. Like, and everything was I can't do it. And so this is an opportunity. And I think Forward Women's Leadership Forum Live has actually created the opportunity. There are things that you're exposed to on Mondays. You're exposed to cooking. You might not realize that you enjoy it until you start to play around with some new flavors and ingredients and realize, oh, I can whip up something on my own without having to go to a restaurant. Or yoga. I know with Tisha, there are some stretches. Oh, I might not have realized how good my body feels after I try that. I might want to incorporate that into my daily routine. So even things like that. If you don't know what you like, then try out Forward Women's Leadership Forum Live and get exposed to some new things.
And guess what? You all are in your house. You're not, as far as I can tell, because I can't see you all, with a group of people, right? You can do this on your own. So if you're trying to do the downward dog and it doesn't quite look right, nobody's going to know. Nobody will know. You can do the tree pose. Now, see, I didn't know that before Tisha came. You can do the tree pose. Nobody's going to know. But here's the thing. You at least tried it. Now, here's the other thing. Use us as a break. We're on for a good 20 minutes. We're trying to stay in 20 minutes. And look, we're at 24. But we try to stay on for 20 minutes. This is an opportunity to learn. An opportunity to join in the conversation. And don't be scared. There are no mistakes in what it is you're saying. You're contributing. That's what I'm saying. You're helping and have us have a rich discussion. So we invite you all to participate on Friday. We had a very rich discussion about nutrition from a professor at Howard University. And I learned a lot about what food, oh Lord, we need to have a plant-based diet, people. Okay. And then on Monday, I didn't appear on Monday, but I did see the exercise routine. You could do that on your own. You could do it on your own. And if you want a routine, play it back. There you go. Play it back until she appears again. So here's what we're doing. Erica has been so kind to have this conversation in observance of Mental Health Awareness Month. We want you all to be open and honest, not just with us, but be with yourself. Mm-hmm. With yourself. And if you, okay, what? You can say something.
There's a few things I want you to think about. So while you're writing it down, if you want to type it out, Colette.
Okay.
Be honest with yourself. So what brings you joy? Open and honest with yourself about what brings you joy. Open and honest with yourself about triggers, whether it be people, whether it be certain assignments, whether it be situations, whether it be things in the home, anything that causes that anxiety or that depression. Be open and honest about that. Write it down so that you can learn how to address it and deal with it. Open and honest about your boundaries. And at the top of this, we said, the work just keeps coming. Well, the work keeps coming because you keep allowing it. So you have to establish your boundaries and be open and honest about what that's going to be for you, whether it's your business or your 9-to-5. And then be open and honest about who is in your corner, who is in your support system, who can you lean on, and whether it's Forward Women's Leadership Forum and this community that we built, or whether it's E-Suite, or whether it's your homegirls, or whether it's your family. Find that, be open and honest about who's actually in your corner and who is a healthy support for you and your mental state at different times. That might not be everybody in your life. You got to be honest about that.
Okay. Ooh, wait. Now, we do this at the end of every one of our sessions. Our next session needs to talk about the tribe.
Okay. We
need to talk about the tribe. Because everybody doesn't recognize what a good tribe looks like. And everybody thinks that a tribe are, I'm not saying everybody, but there are people who think that the number of likes you have creates your tribe. That's not a tribe. That is, and the tribe, when we talk about tribe, we talk about a tribunal, right? That's not your tribe, because you can't talk to all the people that's liking your page. So Jamisa appears on Fridays on the fourth Friday. Mm-hmm. And we were going to talk about tribes in business, but we need to talk about tribes in general, just tribes in general, what they mean and what makes a good tribe and what's a bad tribe. So that people understand, sometimes the people in your tribe are the very people causing you the anxiety.
And sometimes the action to make yourself feel better or to heal is to release some folks and recognize that some things are for a season. But we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, that next on WLF in the next month. So I want you all to stay tuned, because there's lots to talk about. If there's a topic that interests you, we have 12 women who are part of the Forward Forum Collective who bring to you interesting topics about either your motivation, your movement, which occurs on Monday. And on Wednesday, we talk about workforce development, which entails your careers and jobs and just getting ahead. And on Fridays, it's like friends and family day. You don't know what you're going to get, but you're going to get something interesting that relates to you. And so we invite you all to join us in our upcoming episode. I sound like what do you call those? A sitcom or what were those things that had the stories to them every night?
Soap opera.
Soap opera. Yeah. I sound like a soap opera.
Next time on Women's Leadership.
Okay, here's where you can find us on the Forward WLF.org website, or you can search us through the hashtag Forward WLF. That's Forward WLF.org, or you find us through our hashtag. And coming up, Friday, oh my goodness. I said Quiche. How did I say? Let me put that down. Okay, Keisha. Her name is Keisha. Keisha Hicks. Let me correct that really quick. I told y'all. Keisha Hicks of The Elevate Her. Now, you know, she's the one who challenged me on that whole water thing. She's got challenges for all of you all when it comes to self-care. So I'm encouraging you all to tune in on Friday and watch her show, because she's always enlightening in what she has to say about healthcare. And then guess what? We're going to have a boot camp. Boot camp, July 10th. It's Founders Day. Guess who's the founder? Woo, that would be me. And I have things that I plan for you. It's a business mastermind class. And guess, wait a minute. Yeah, guess who is the hostess? That would be Erica Roberts. And we're bringing Janice Pinkney to help us out in delivering this business mastermind class. So if you are struggling in your business, or you're trying to get it right, or you're thinking about having a business, you're not quite there, we got tips for you. We have a way, and here's the promise, because this is the promise of every Women's Leadership Forum event, is that you walk away with something. You walk away with knowledge to move yourself where, ladies? Forward. So I want you to continue to stay with us. And I'm going to try to stay focused, right? For as much as I can. And go ahead.
I just want to add that I'm looking at some of the folks that are here, and all of those of you that are government employees, federal employees, happy Public Service Recognition Week. Take some time to thank yourself for all that you do, including you, Colette, for the service that you do. And I see specifically the 2021 Unsung Heroes of Federal Service awardee for Whole Health Hero is also joining us today. And I just saw that they had mentioned something in there. And that's Whole Health, for how they dealt with the challenges of COVID as a woman and as a mother, and as a person who was advancing in her career without really having sufficient help, and lessons in that. So I shout out to that person. I don't know if they want me to say their name, but congratulations and shout out to that.
Well, shout out to any of the award winners, because I see, you know what? I was looking at all the comments. Everybody on that page has won some kind of an award.
Mm-hmm.
I know that because I know most of these people that commented on the page. They have won some award. So applause to you. You deserve it and more. But I want to say, before we sign off, make sure that you take care of your health. You only have yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup. You need to, if you need some assistance,
put your mask on first.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was going to say mental assistance. You need research. And if you're looking for Black healthcare providers, they are out there. Now, what I'm not trying to tip my hat on is we have one that's within the 12. The collective of 12 of us. And they're coming on at the end of the month. Now, please don't wait till the end of the month to see who that is if you need to see a provider. go see a provider. I'm encouraging you. You don't need to wait.
And if you're
But
in the working world and you have an employer, check out your EAP resources as well. If you're feeling
absolutely,
strain.
absolutely. And, your human resource director, they ought to be resourceful. And if not, there's the National Association of Mental Institution, I believe, NAMNI. I'm missing what the I stands for, but NAMI, that association is a great resource for finding all of your mental health needs. And with that, I want to say, continue. Oh, wait, we got. See, we so resourceful. We can't even get off the air here.
No,
Go ahead.
one more. I want to drop one upcoming event that we talked a lot about COVID and just general work.
Yeah.
2020 and 2021 have also brought other external environmental stressors, racial injustice, a whole lot of other factors that some of us are dealing with in different ways. And so the Maryland chapter, Greater Maryland chapter of the National Black MBA Association, on the second Tuesday of the month is actually having a mental health expert to talk about dealing with the anxiety caused by the racial societal unrest that's going on now. I want to mention that as well.
Well, this is like, we probably could have been on for an hour, but
we got to let the people.
No, I mean, you and I could have talked for an hour. I'm not like, but we want to make sure that those who are viewing us streaming, that we capture their attention and that they get what they need. And so we're going to bid everybody adieu, but we're going to ask everybody to continue to mask up, because protecting you is not only protecting you, but it's protecting others. And so we're a firm believer, both of us are firm believers, that you should continue to mask and stay socially distant and just do, in general, can we just do the right thing? Let's do the right thing. So with that, I'm going to sign off and say, see you on Friday. Erica, thank you so much for being my guest. And we will be back at it on Friday with Miss Keisha Hicks of The Elevator. You have a wonderful evening and see you next time.
Bye-bye.